Welcome to today's video. Today is Saturday, March 1st, or Saturday night, March 1st. Happy birthday, Laura. So what today's video is going to be about is the dissolution of my marriage, what caused it, what I went through, why I ended up buying the boat. And then the second part of the video is going to deal with a big mistake that I made. It's going to deal with the cockpit seat that you see in the opening credit or opening montage to begin with, and how that came about. Okay, so enjoy the video, like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get to it. Alrighty, so let's get into this week's video. I appreciate all you guys that are watching the videos, that have watched the videos and have subscribed. I've gotten a lot of comments about my situation, being single, living on a boat, and different things of that nature. Why am I living on a boat, living on a fixed income budget, and my ex-wife has a great property here, and other different things, why I have certain tools and things of that nature. So I thought it'd probably be a good idea. I was going to do this particular segment further down in the series, and I'm going to explain how I got to where I am today. This basically started around 2019. Business. I was in the flooring business. I ran a consult firm as well. Some of the things I can't quite talk about because of a non-disclosure agreement that I had with a manufacturer that I worked with for about a dozen years, doing consulting for them, handling their technical services across the country. So anyway, back in 2019, I was traveling every week. I was on an airplane every week, going and visiting job sites, visiting customers, distributors, things of that nature. And at that time, my ex-wife, she was not really go into too much about her because she deserves her privacy. But she was working. She was working full time. She has a full time job, and then she took on a part time job as well in her particular field, where she was working on the weekends. Now I was gone Monday through Friday almost every week, 48 weeks out of the year. Okay, that's how much I was traveling. I was traveling quite a bit. And then, and she was working, like I said, she was working 4 days a week during the week, then Saturdays and Sundays on the weekend, and usually 12 to 14 hours a day. She's in a professional field. Let's put it that way. So what happened was, I expanded my business. Things were going great. And then come 2020 and COVID. And in May of 2020, the company that I had been doing business with, which was my main source of income, decided to downsize me and my team, because I had a team that helped them out as well. So they decided that they wanted to go in a different direction, not only because of COVID, but because of, over the past few years, I had become disenchanted with their production, their quality of services, and I tended to lean toward the consumer when approving claims, because I was the claims manager as well. And the factories that were overseas were upset that I would approve these claims. Well, a lot of people don't know this. Let's just say in the hardwood flooring business, you get a warranty when you buy a pre-finished floor. Okay, that warranty says, they'll give you this lifetime warranty, or a 20-year warranty, or 30-year warranty, or whatever. Well, what you don't often read in that warranty, and this is standard for the industry, is that for the warranty to kick in, 10% of that square footage installed has to be defective. So, if you have 1,000 square feet, that means 100 square feet has to be defective before the warranty actually kicks in. This is an industry standard. Well, my point of view was whether it's one board or two boards, and a lot of manufacturers go ahead and take care of these small repairs anyway. But the manufacturers I was working with, the importer I was working with, who imported their product from overseas, the factories overseas didn't feel like they should be paying these claims. So, but I kept approving them because I felt it was the right thing to do. If a consumer buys something, they expect it to work. They expect it to give them the quality that they purchased. So over the past years, I had been approving these claims, and when business was going great, it was not a big deal. But when business started slacking off a little bit, these manufacturers decided that, you know what, Tony's approving too much claims. And so there was a lot of harping. I would go overseas and go to the factories and implement quality control. And as soon as I left, you know, when I was over there, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to reduce our claims, yada, yada, yada. As soon as I left, they were right back to the same thing they were always doing. So this was not only when COVID came in, we were also having a bit of a, to me, it was an integrity issue. And so I was still approving the claims. The owners of the company did not like the fact that I was doing that. And you have to understand, they did not consider me to be an employee. They considered me to be a consultant contractor. So they didn't have any control over it, but they had given me control over their claims department of all their technical services. So in May of 2020, they called me up without any without me knowing anything like this was coming down, and they said they were making the change, and that was it. That was it. That was nothing. So at that time, I had a lot of their product in my warehouse that was defective, a lot of defective product in the warehouse. And we were arguing over what they needed to do with it, what I was going to do with it, things of that nature. So we ended up in a lawsuit. They were suing me for just under $1 million, $998,000. I ended up having to countersue them. And because this was on a West Coast thing, I had to have a West Coast lawyer. And it was costing me, $50,000 the first couple of months. It cost me $50,000 to fight this lawsuit. And so this is all these things were going on at the same time. So come around to March of 2021, I'm kind of floundering. My business is going under. COVID has hit. I'd never lost money in my business before. That year I lost $300,000. And it hurt. It hurt. I was struggling to keep people employed. I was struggling to make my credit card payments. Basically, I was living on credit cards myself. My ex and I always kept our funds separate. Her business is her business. My business was my business. Like I said, she's self-employed as well. But so we always kept things separate. Now, on a few occasions, she had to loan me money so I could meet payroll, things of that nature. And I was with the promise I was going to pay her back. And be honest with you, I didn't pay her back very much. I paid her back some. I think she loaned me around $170,000, and I think I only paid her back around $60,000 of that. So, she was becoming disenchanted that I was continuing trying to keep this business afloat that was costing money, while she was working her ass off. And so I got depressed. I'll be honest with you. At the time you don't know you're depressed. So the stress of everything, and then things not going the way they should, and then me not acting the way I should. I would go out and play golf and play golf with a bunch of my buddies and stuff like that on the weekends, and sometimes during the week, and then we stay out and drink. Not getting sloppy drunk or anything, but we'd stay out and have a few drinks and things like that. And I'd come in around 8 or 9 o'clock on Saturday, and she would. I almost always got in before she got in from work, but a couple of times I didn't get into it after she got in, and I was not doing the things. I was not living up to my responsibility of taking care of the property the way it was. I wasn't doing some of the things that I should have been doing. So anyway, in March of 2021, I had a heart attack. And so at that time, I decided, I need to change a lot of things that I'm doing. And I did for a while. But at the same point, I had to close my business because finally I had lost so much money I couldn't run the business anymore, and I was lost. I mean, I didn't know what to do. You call it depression, which is I guess what it was. I was depressed about it, and I won't say I fell into the bottle because I didn't really fall into the bottle. But I'd have a couple of drinks a night, not every night, but and I was just shirking. It was hard for me to get up and go and do anything. And so we started having problems in the fall of 2021. We had never argued or anything before. We always got along. And when I was traveling, her working so much was, it was good because it kept her occupied while I wasn't around. And I should mention that my ex is a number of years younger than me. This is my second wife. And she's, let's say, more than a decade younger than me. And so she was in here I'm at the end of my, theoretically, at the end of my working life. And frankly, with my business failing, I'd been self-employed for all my adult working life. I've been self-employed for 90% of the time. I have worked for other companies during time, but I've been self-employed. I've been the boss. So it's been difficult for me to go and work for someone else because, I'm hard-headed. So anyway, a lot of things that I used to be able to leave work at work when I came home, but when my business failed and I started bringing that stuff home, and the attitude I had at work became the attitude I had at home. And then when we finally closed the business, I was just lost. I mean, I was depressed, I was lost, I was upset that I failed, and I just didn't do it. I mean, a lot of days I didn't even get dressed. I just hang around the house, and so she got more and more frustrated with me. And our problem was that we really didn't talk about it. We didn't know how to sit down and talk about it because because of the state I was in, I would get angry. After a few comments and things like that, I'd get angry and get up and walk out. So never yelling and screaming. So it just finally came to a head. I decided to move out. She jumped on my case. Well, I can't say she jumped on my case. She was actually doing something I had asked her to do, but then it was kind of like she did it without my permission, or not without my permission. She always has the right to do whatever she wants to. She did something without telling me she was doing it, which is, I'm not going to go over what it was, but it was something that she should have informed me about. And we talked about it at the time, but she decided to do it on her own. I got upset about it. I moved out. I moved over into what's called the guest house. The guest house is a workshop with an apartment above it that I built about 13, 14 years ago. So we decided to separate, and then when we were discussing. This went on for 6 months. I went back for a couple of weeks, and then I knew it wasn't going to work. I moved back out, came back up to the guest house. At that point, I'm because I'm not getting any money from her. I'm not really getting any money coming in from anything, and so I start selling off some of my stuff. I sell off all my shop equipment. I have a big woodworking shop and stuff, and got out of my leases and things of that nature. And this lawsuit we finally settled. We both parties agreed to drop the lawsuit, both lawsuits, but we both signed an NDA not to discuss. I don't talk about their company; they don't talk about me. So that's the way that ended. Well, all this stuff is going on. So I'm selling off equipment and stuff like that to raise funds to pay back bills. And it finally came to a head one day. I was selling my golf cart. And she said, why are you selling your golf cart? I said, well, I've got to go find a place to live. And of course, she didn't want me to leave the property. And I said, well, I can't stay here and let's not be husband and wife or live together. We just need to go ahead and make a clean break. So we did our settlement agreement part, and someone asked, how come I'm on a fixed income and she has this great property? And the reason is because she assumed my equity. She assumed all my debt that I had built up. She assumed and paid off all that debt. And so that was a big relief off me. And so I had built up some cash. That's when I went and bought the boat. And then the other thing she allows me to do is come back and stay at the guest house whenever I want to come back to where here in Southern Pines. So she allows me to come back to the Pinehurst area, stay in the guest house, use the workshop that I built downstairs, and because she allows me to do that, she doesn't charge me any rent, she doesn't charge me for utilities or anything like that. I don't see her typically when I'm here. I don't even see her because she's always working. There are a few projects in the big house that I had started that I felt like I have to complete. So I go over and work on those. Like this week we had decided to remodel an upstairs bathroom. So I've been laying tile in that upstairs bathroom. There's a couple other little small projects. There's a gazebo I've been building for 2 years, and we finally decided on what type of roof to go on it. So little things like that, I come here and do. She pays me for some of it. She's been paying me for everything because she understands I can use the income and things of that nature. So that's where it's at. But that was the reason that we separated is because of, I got depressed. I lost my business. I got depressed, didn't know how to handle it. And it's taken me a couple of years to realize my happiness does not lie within someone else. Someone else can't make you happy, okay? So you just have to find something that you're excited about, that you have a love for, and that's what sailing is to me. So that's the reason, I purchased the boat. It's actually the second boat I purchased. But I purchased the boat and been fixing it up. But because I am on a budget, I can't do things as quickly as I would like to. I have to save up money to do things. I have to live frugally to do things. That's just like, driving the 4.5 hours, 5 hours, spending the gas money to come to Southern Pines and work on things here. That's something I have to weigh every time I do it. Okay, is it worth the cost of gas to drive down there and drive back? Excuse me. So I wanted to give you guys who've had a lot of questions an understanding of what can happen in a relationship. COVID was not good for a lot of people, and it definitely wasn't good for me, especially at the end of my career. Because, being 64 years old, and like I said, being at the end of my career, I just couldn't start a new job. So I went ahead and when I turned 62, I went ahead and retired, and because I just didn't feel like waiting until I was 67, and I just didn't think the numbers did not work. So that's where we're at now. So I hope this is, and someone has asked me about having fest tools. Well, I had these tools back when I was making money, when I had money. So now, no, I don't have any. I don't have any money. The guest house here, living here on the golf course, this is all my ex-wife's, and she's nice enough to allow me to continue. It was kind of one of the things we worked out, that I can come and stay at the guest house until one of us finds somebody new. Not that I'm looking, and I don't see her typically when I come to the guest house. Usually come about once a month. I typically don't see her at all. Our paths just don't cross, and so it works out. We have become more friendly. I can't say that we're friendly, but we have become more tolerable or I should say, she has become more tolerable of me. Because she was really upset that I kind of went over the edge. This depression thing In that time, I didn't, looking back on it now, yes, I know it was depression. At the time, I was just trying to, you know, I was lost, and like a lot of people, and I just didn't know what to do. And so a lot of things I did were wrong. I made mistakes. And so now when my interactions with people is a lot different, I have a lot different perspective than I used to have. So I hope this explanation will help many of y'all understand where I'm coming from and why I am in the situation, which I don't think of as a situation. I think of it as a journey, a new adventure. And I'm quite pleased with the way things are going. So I'm happy with it. I'm happy that all of you people have decided to search out and see my videos, that have subscribed, that have commented. I've tried to respond to all the comments. I may miss one here or there, but I tried to respond to a lot of them. And so I hope you guys will enjoy this video. I do have a little project at the end here, and that we're going to see that I've been working on. At the point of this taping right now, I don't exactly know which one I'm going to put on, but you'll have a little project, and then we'll be back with mostly boat work after this, and the lifestyle, or excuse me, or the everyday things that a senior citizen like myself goes through, particularly when you're living on a boat. All right, and I want to thank everyone who has liked and subscribed the videos. I really appreciate it. Those of you who have joined the Patreon page, I appreciate it. I really do. I put up a video last week. I'll put up another video tomorrow or Sunday for the Patreons as well. And so let's get to the project. All right, first thing I'm going to do is get this lined up and taped, kind of. That's where it's going to be at, where I'm going to cut down it. Just kind of hold it in place and get it relatively straight. Because what I'll eventually do is to be able to screw this back in, is I'll take and mount board on the back side so that I can screw this all back in. All right, so that should hold it for the moment while I start cutting. Alright, here's the sawzall. I mean the reciprocating saw. Got a little crooked, got it tilted a little bit, as you can see, but it is what it is. So, all right, so now I've got to figure out, get the bottom done, figure out a way to get that so it's even across there. All right. So we're gonna measure down about how far we want to go. Shoot, what is this? Take measure. I guess of this. That's about right there. About 12¼ inches. No, you can't really see it. Anyway, there's what I've cut so far. All right, so I'm gonna finish cutting this out and I'll get back to you. All right, so we're gonna try and get this out. Got it all cut. Not sure if I got it cut enough. That's good enough. Picture right over here. There we go. And you know what? Big mistake. Can't get down there. Oh, big mistake. Oh man. So this has all got to be fiberglass back because I can't get down in there now. I should have taken off a different area because I need to be able to get down in there. So that didn't work. All right, well, back to the drawing board. All right, so you can see more clearly here that there is not enough room for me to get down to the steering quadrant. What I forgot was that the hull came in at the rear of the stern part of the boat. So I just wasn't thinking about being able to get down in there, that the hull itself, the bottom of the boat came up and just left no room to get back down in there. So we'll see how I fix this on the next episode. Okay, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I hope it may help some people, or at least give you an understanding. It answers a lot of questions that I got in the comments. So I hope you enjoyed the video. And then the cockpit area where I cut the cockpit seat off, the second part of that will come next week. Next week, I guess, on the next video. I couldn't put it on this video, it was just too long of how I fixed that. So you'll see that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell button, everything all the YouTubers say. If you want to join my Patreon, I'm gonna learn how to say it here shortly. If you want to join the Patreon, see videos that are not shown on YouTube, see some behind the scenes stuff, just go to what's it called, Patreon /SB Excalibur. Okay, And like I say, I hope y'all enjoyed tonight's video. If you did not stay to the end, well, I hope you get a good night's sleep. Wake up in the morning, and when you get dressed, I hope your socks have holes in them. See ya. Welcome to today's video. I am back on the boat this Saturday, March the 1st. Happy birthday, Laura. What tonight's video is going to be about is, let's start this again, okay? Because I forgot what the damn thing's going to be about. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, or 3, 2, 1. Transition. Okay, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Uh-oh, my dog calling. Hey, let me call you back in a minute. I'm recording for my video. Okay?
Okay, no worries.
Bye-bye. Hey, where was I at? Oh, wish I was further back. The way I make that further back, I guess so. All right. Oh, it is what it is. Okay.